Song always sounds like the beginning of a Breaking Benjamin song. Is it Diary of Jane? Can't remember. Hello. There we go. Yeah. You have a question? Alright, what is the question? Before I open anything here. Because I have something different I wanted to do today a little bit. I needed assistance. Actually, now I think about it, I haven't uploaded it either. How many pudges to make one dolphin? Well, it is a dolphin. I'd probably say something like 8 to 10. How do you fix a model if a light is making their body part glow really brightly? Normally, anytime I see that, it's just a difference in the brightness of that texture. Just like having a pony model that has a low lighting or a very low color, like a black, and then you try to shine a light at it and the eyes glow brighter because they're bright white compared to a black texture. Only way I've ever really offset that is by just like artificially changing the color to something that just makes more sense. Otherwise, I don't know the context. But in general today, I actually am trying to get the Elements Hallway as a public download. I didn't know a method to do it until I started looking into it a bit yesterday because I was super lazy, about 3 years lazy, and looked into it. So I kind of know a way to do it now. And so I need to ensure that it works on everybody's computer. Yasha helped me a little bit yesterday on that, where it showed it worked to him, but he also had more games enabled while I was disabling everything. Mainly the ones that were in question were Counter-Strike and Dear Esther. I think I couldn't find a way to fix it, but I found a way around it, and so I just went with that. So I need some people that could potentially load it up to see if it works, because I can't disable my user mod, which is where all the models are and all the textures are. So I can't or when I go to run it, I'm always going to see most of the stuff that's already going to be loaded from that folder. I'm going to make sure that a computer that doesn't have any of that works. So, so I'm going to share this, and I just need somebody. The more people that do it, the better. That will work. To do that. So, I think this should be everything. In the meantime, I have to make some kind of a look, because let me open it here. One, I'm going to need a picture of some sort. I brought a lot of stuff into this just before, so hopefully it works. Yeah, it does. There's a couple things on it that I'm going to have to make note of. Like, there's a hole in the wall here that is there in Hammer, but no matter what I do, I can't get rid of it. It's really, really effed up, and I just gave up and stopped caring. A lot of this stuff outside of here, never cared enough to go and fix, so it only works from some angles out here. It was built definitely for the video, not for anything else. So like for viewing from this angle, there's that floating there, but again, I never had to worry about that. I'm hoping somebody else goes through and optimizes it, because I'm really bad at it. All right, what's your problem here? Oh, the parts that are glowing probably have, they're utilizing an environment map to cause a reflection. So, the best way to fix that is to add a property. There you are. So in your textures, what you do is an override if you want to. You're going to want to add in a property of end map tint and just try decreasing it to like 0.9, 0.5. That will decrease the glow, but it will make them less shiny. You could also start playing with some of the properties that are on those, which are in the Fong. So, because that might be Fong instead of, yeah, it might be Fong that's doing that. It looks kind of like an environment map though. So you can try an environment map, but if not, just play around with these two values, exponent and boost. They're the ones that are going to probably be the biggest culprit for causing a lot of that. And one of them goes positive, one of them goes negative to make the brightness go up. So just try increasing one by like a factor of 10, and if it makes it brighter, just decrease it by a factor of 10 and see what happens. I'm just playing around with those values. That'll be the best way to do it. Anyways, so there's a couple of things with this map that I need to make sure. I wanted to make a, because like this is what it looks like base lighting, which is nowhere near what I had it in the video, but that's what this was. I mean, that I wanted it to be lower lit because I wanted the ability to light it myself. I just wanted some ambient lighting that was in there to just create some of these shadow effects like on the walls here. Those are actually like built into the map right there, to just make it feel like it had a little bit of volume. You can see these like shadowed areas behind these pillars, like the big dark area over here apparently. I don't know why that's so dark. It's dark every one. Why is that one lit? Oh, it's dark because the hallway is lit by having a light floating in the air above this spot. I'm thinking like up here. I can't remember exactly how I did it. And I think that's why. So it's just getting cut off right there from the circle around it. But I know people are going to want what this looked like in the video, so I need to put together save files that kind of look like that. Actually, the best way to do that is not to make a new file, but to grab remembrance and just destroy it. So I'm not sure what people would want to have as like useful scene builds in here. I'm thinking the hall, a general hall, because it's going to be used as an example, and then the main room. I think that's all I really need to do. We might even just say fuck it and only do the main room. When I say main room, I mean this one. What areas have errors? Okay, so I need to find a good shot. I think the best one is this one. Yeah, this has everything. Oh, I forgot that has the light rays come down. What if I get rid of those? Okay, and No actualites. No extra pedestal lights. No pedestals. There's ring trim. Oh yeah, there's no ring trim. No elements. No statues. So it'd be like this. To fix that in any of the shots that I had this showing, I just put a model behind it to block the hole. Alright, yeah, I'm curious what my errors are. I'm missing everything, and that wasn't... Because when it was tested by somebody else, they had all those. Let me double check one thing. Well, you know, you didn't have... Well, the texture's loaded, so that was fine. We might have more of an error or problem than I thought. Yeah, 65,000, so that's the right file. Because all of those should have went with it. It's only the models that didn't go through. Yeah, so this is the errors that were coming across. But the problem we had before was that none of the textures came in. This shows actually all the textures came in, so that's good. But none of the models, because I was actually having an opposite issue before, where I was getting texture issues, but not the models were fine. Well, no, it's not pillars. It's not just pillars back there. Those are the statuettes, and those are the flags I created, and those flags are custom. So the fact that when Yasho tried it and he had it work, that means that there's something different because I'm the only one that had that model. Nobody else did. So I'm not really sure on that. Why those are loading. And like that door is a custom texture. Nobody else would have had that. So, but I know the pillars here and the ones, those two right there, are from the Cantrella War Games map. And these areas up here are probably the flags. So yeah, all the custom models didn't go through. But I was pretty sure. Okay, and it was two people. Rainy had it too. I might have to look into that more. It's impossible for me to test it, like, at all, because do I go through and destroy all the models in my user mod? No. So I already tried that with a couple things. Where's the other one? Is there more? Yeah. No, that's all the pillars. That's exactly where they were. Because like these ones hanging here, those are custom ones I made, and so these are actual models that are in the map. They're not loaded as part. They were created as part of the scenery as like an actual model, like what do they call it? They're not brushes. It's just a weird term that Hammer uses, but these are actual loaded models. Well, these things like that go across the pillars here aren't models. They're actually part of the map geometry. And the same thing with the floor here and this door. That's all map geometry. So there's not loaded models. That's why those are showing fine. So, but these are loaded models, and loaded models. So that's why those don't work. But all the textures came in, and that's and the windows, these wouldn't be in there either because these ones are actually selectable. Well, I don't have them selectable right now, but they're selectable models. Because if it does come down to being an issue, I can just add them into the file as a separate thing instead of trying to have it all combined into the map file. I had to do that with a couple things. For instance, like the ground grass outside and the metal fencing, which is the hanging bits here, weren't loading correctly before, so I had to put them in different. Along with the file came a couple models. I didn't actually test these because I couldn't. I just had to grab them based on position, which actually might... No, because the pillars were still an issue too. Like the element flag, the flower pot, those are technically... Or the flower pot's not the scene build, but the flags are. If those load or if those are errors matter too. If they're just errors, then that might be what's causing it. Oh no, because the pillars would have still worked fine. Ignore why they're super bright. Well, for now I'm going to do this. We're going to save as. We're going to save this as... Element Hall. What would I call that? I'm giving somebody a file with lighting pre-built into it. I'm just going to template for now. Alright, so what do I not need? The light rays, I can't send those along with, they're not mine. Ring trim, gone. Elements, gone. The windows will stay. Statues, gone. Actors, gone. Actor lights, gone. And all these gone. Okay. Okay, these are going to stay windows. We're just going to move it here. Delete. Gonna make this easy for people. Okay. That's Fluttershy. Okay. So that's done. Actually, not thinking about it. This does not include a couple lights here, so these need to be renamed to be a little bit more descriptive. I think it's gonna be tough. Is I think, yeah, I did. No, actually, these had to be replaced too, because I needed to set it to a the actual gobo. All those lights are gobo lights, and they are. I had to rename them and move them. I have to make sure it grabs the one from user mod, otherwise nobody's gonna be able to load it right. This window rim. So this is rainbow. What is ambient again? Oh, this is their statues. You don't need this. Outside light. Okay, so this is just going to be... What is this one? Okay, so this is going to be a... Okay, so under light. Is this even hitting the windows? No, from the statues. Don't need that either. Okay, good. I'm going because like the actual map itself looks like this. I'm glitched right now with the color, so ignore that. So it looks like this, but I know that if I were to release the map like this, I'm gonna get complaints of it doesn't look anything like when I was using it. So I'm at least I'm gonna put one file in there that has these as they were, at least from the video, to a degree, to show how to do some of the lighting with it. For this room, I'm going to leave the rest of them empty, but I want to at least give something so that it's not people thinking that the whole video was all built within the map without any lighting modification at all. And then people can do with it however they wish. And I don't care if people use this exact build to do something of their own. Okay, so this is going to be in like floor light 1, 2. What is this one? Okay, so this is a maybe what is this one then? That's what these ones are. Oh, I only use one for each of them. Oh yeah, okay. Am I sure? Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so what's the difference between... Oh, this is their actual rim. Ah, I don't actually need those. I thought I had those backwards. Okay, we'll go away. Okay, so this is Pinky window rim, Rarity window rim, Applejack rim. Okay, and then this is the volumetric. I'm gonna have to copy this to a couple of them though, because like, so this is the so I'm gonna call this Rarity window glow. I was just double check. I'm like, wait a second, did I save this as something else? Because I know I'm going to accidentally hit Control S at some point. And what is this? So this is combined. So this is kind of going along with... I'm just going to name these 1. Okay, maybe 2. Okay. Sweet. I'm gonna put the camera in a better spot here. Let's do that. Okay. So now I want to make sure I get these windows to these ones. So we're gonna get, let's take rarities. Rarity window volumetric. I want to call this Applejack window volumetric. Alright, so this is going to be further forward. And if you think about it, this is not right. They're straight lines. There should not be straight lines. And I think I even have... I'm going to have to turn these off for this. Oh no, I have to keep the shadows on because it's coming over these ledges here. And like over here. And these are all individual lights, so these shadows are going to be an ass for people to work with. When I did the final, if there was ones that I didn't see anything that mattered, I just turned the shadow off on it. But here it matters. Hello. This is going to probably crash. So I'm going to save here. So I need Applejack. I forgot what I called it. I think it was... there. Stained Applejack blur. That's not horrifying. What time? My Little Pony quality Equestria super sweet whiskey. This hasn't crashed yet. And it shouldn't be in the model folder, it should be in the Gobo folder. Oh wait, no, I didn't actually bring that over. I should probably put those textures in my files. There it goes. Alright, so we need to bring these over. Gobo. Okay. That should work. Yes, they stabbed into a solid. Wait, I didn't say that, did I? No, I know I didn't. Yeah. Couldn't see the name of the file. I was like, wait a second. Probably can get rid of some of this non-needed stuff too, though. Not going to share that big of a file. Okay, we're going to move, delete. 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 So all gone except that one. Clearing out all that or that stuff I have added since the beginning. Oh, this is gonna. Oh, I can just do this. No, I actually can't do that. How do I forgot how I do this. Because I have a file that technically is starting before 0. I thought there was a way to fix that. But I can't remember. Fade in, fade out. Does it have a start point? A camera scene, maybe? No. That was actually a problem I was rendering because frames before 0 would be in negative numbers and that wouldn't be read by anything correctly. How do I do that? Because this is 0 right here. I mean, and this doesn't work because it just... Oh, can I... Nope. Nope. I know there's a way. I can't remember how I got to that. Or how I got into the negative. But it was stupid. Can I manually add an offset? Set time offset. Let's set that to 3. Well, that didn't do shit. What's the point of having time offset? No, it's I don't know if you've ever had an issue with it. I can't remember how it happened. So I'm currently in the negative. I have the shot I have here is in the negative, but if I go to delete it, it just moves my actual file into the negative. Actually, does this work? Oh, there we go. Okay, that was how I did it. I forgot about those keys. Okay. But if you render it in the negative, the actual frame number is in negative. But when you try to open it in software, it's looking for it starting at 00000. So when I was trying to render this video at the beginning, I had to manually separate that beginning part to put it in because of that. But I didn't only learn later how to fix that. And I'm like, I know it's the key somewhere. Anyways. Alright, so let's finish up our windows here. So I need to fix Applejack's window here. So let's see if I can find... There it is. Alright. And then I need to grab pinkies. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. Like, what the hell is this? Alright, and then we just move that over. Photoshop's with a tough one though, because these windows aren't actually they're not going straight right now, but I probably should just to make this less of a headache. I think I originally had them turned because of allowing Applejack's window to show correctly, but I will say fuck it right now. So Rainbow's window, we're gonna turn this one. So we're going to say that was centers about here. Okay. Rarity. Choose this one. I'm actually thinking I'm going to take this and that. Let's do rarities to Applejacks. How's that look? Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't exactly agree with it being so sharp, but I really can't do anything about that. Well, no, I can. I just have to put the shadow up a little bit, like that. I'm going to do that for all of them. Okay, so we're at rainbow. Oh, that was not... Oh, that was what I wanted. Okay. And now we need to do pinkies. Keep doing this backwards. So I need pinkies. Volume... Rainbow's volumetric. Paste it to pinkies. Okay. Sneaking through. Oh well. And you can even see that these aren't actually up to the windows, but from this angle, that's what matters. As long as it visually looks okay. Actually, that volumetrics I think are really strong. Oh well. And then there is another thing to do here. So we have the window rim here, because let's see what Gobo it has. Like, I need to make sure that it has the correct one, which is going to be this one. I already did it with that, and the window glow is separate, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we got... Oops. There. Pinky and Pinky's was already there, so it's wrong. The reason it's wrong is I had my files were in a different location than when I had the map used, the save file, than when I'm doing it now. And if I go and release it like that, it's not going to work because it's going to be looking for my files and not where I moved them to. I think do I have just straight up too many textures that it won't let me? I saved just like a second before then because I was waiting for it to crash, but if I could figure out what issue is the models it is. I really can't think of what that is. Hi, cat. Meow. Meow. Ooh. No, I can't. I can't have you lap. I don't think I can pull this very close, but it's about as close. Oh, a little closer. Yeah. Oh, now my cord's underneath. Hello, ceiling. All right. Love he leans into it off the bed direction. So if I just pull my hand away really quick, you just topple. Little trusting kitty. Okay, so for those that had that save file, were you able to load up and like these windows are actually there as a model? I don't know if you're able to look for them. They're under the word glass, I believe. There's a rainbow. There's a rainbow rim. Oh! She actually didn't have any. From the angle I was running at, it didn't need it. Well, yeah, they're not. The windows are going to be empty. They're models. They're not. They're not in the map itself. They were included as separate models. That one's gonna work fine. So this is gonna be her window glow. All right, and I probably should put these in order. So we got Applejack for rim. Did Applejack have a rim? Apparently not. So it's Rarity, Rainbow. Yeah, Rainbow didn't have one. Pinky and Fluttershy. Oh, she did have one. Okay, and then it went. Alright, no, that was Applejack, Rarity, Rainbow, Pinky, Fluttershy, Rainbow, Rarity. So this is Applejack, Rarity, Rainbow, Pinky, Fluttershy. Okay. Good to be organized. All right, I think that's in terms of like handing it out to somebody. I think that's about the most I want to do for lighting. I just want to show how those work. The textures are included for, or will be included for. Hello, Michael. So this one. So this is like the the Pinky window, but then I also have the ones for like the Nightmare Moon and Discord for the hallway. think I'll just have to rely on other people to figure it out from there. This is such a shitty map, though. Like this had an error I couldn't fix, even though that showed that they were all connected fine. There's this error over here. There's another one up here. Oops. Over here. There was another one. I don't think something else. So there's the hole in the wall there. Those are popping out the side. This had some problems. Out here. Stuff. There's even out here, this is just big blank empty courtyard. This is a big hole in the ceiling because I hope you never have to go outside. Because voila. There is a 3D skybox over here, so you can play around with that. I figured out how to make that work at least. Now I realize that the 3D skybox is crossing into the 2D skybox, or the skybox in a skybox. But I didn't care. It worked for what I need. I mean, even these are just blank. Well, there's a lot of small issues. It's a very large collection of them. If I can just figure out what's wrong with some of this stuff. There was actually this room that bothered me. Oh, like these pillars aren't even touching. When I was working on this map, this part actually wasn't bad. Like, I figured out these hallways, got that done. It wasn't difficult. Well, I learned a lot, but at least I figured it out and got that done. But this room was an ass, and the reason was I had to build the map to match the shape of the windows. So when I was originally working on it, I had to build the map so that I had 5 equal distance surfaces, so these ones, that would fit those windows perfectly. And so originally when I did it, they were just absolutely flat surfaces that I then went and slapped the textured one after Doom Guy got it done for me onto... can you change the colors in the room? No, all that's locked to the map. You can decompile it and do stuff with it, but I don't mind on that. But so I had them just laying flat against it, which it didn't matter, but I needed them to break, which means I had to have them looking to the outside in some way or another. So I had to then cut holes in the wall and then extrude portions of it to have these little like lips come out to separate them. And it took me a very long time to get that to work. Like, they're also different heights, so each of these are, the middle one's higher than the others. But when it came to a lot of these edges, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I couldn't find something that worked. And so, and making the ceiling work how I wanted it to. It did not work how I wanted it to. I got so angry with it and not being able to do what I was looking to do that I rage quit. That's why I stopped working on this for so long, was this freaking area right here. And when I went to go do it again, I just said, fuck it. You can't even see these goddamn pillars. When they're down here, they look like they're doing important things, but they're not actually. They're not even touching the damn pillars. So, yeah. Originally, I had an idea for a much more detailed mosaic above this. Never got around to it. I just said, fuck it. I want to get this done. So, but it looks okay when you have the lighting pulled in here. Although different lighting reflecting off all the pillars in the room when the light bounces around. That's what created a lot of that like patchwork coloration, and I just left it like that because it ended up actually giving an accent that helped. Yeah, that's not enough. So let's just get the pick up, and I can't forget the one. The res 4. Let's see first. Nope, actually I can't load that in with it. Because that's that's a separate download. I included the door. I'm super sleepy. It was a long week. Well, no, I mean, some of the stuff I did very good on. Like, I actually was very proud of myself when it came into the textures, and getting this to work, to actually get the look that I wanted for it. It's just that, really, if you look into any map in detail, into the corners that aren't normally the visible corners, it's going to be shit. Even a game, it only has its one or its areas to be in, and when you go outside those areas, it looks like shit. So, as long as it works for what you need. It's just this damn hole. This one is the one that fucking pisses me off the most. I don't know why it's doing that, because there's no... Oh, wait. I believe there's a cut in the wall from here to here. But still, how I got that shape, I have no idea. Anyway, so I can't... But no, I can't put this on the floor because it's not actually part of the map. And I don't want people getting confused. Okay, so this would be for the pick. This is already a 35. I kind of want to show the hall, but I don't want to light it. Don't hurt yourself. Not looking to do anything super fancy here. Actually, I probably should move this camera down a little bit because I did want to show other angles. Like have other pictures down here to show the other angles within the row itself. Oh, Deltatron. Yeah, I made it a while ago. I'm just actually trying to work on getting it released. It's only a couple years too late. It's gonna be covered, so I'm not even worried about that. I feel like there's definitely some lights that aren't on right now. I'm not gonna be fucking worried about it. No biggie. Video only came out 2.5 years ago. I think it was 2015. Fall of 2015. But no biggie, no biggie. Actually, this should be a little bit more pro. So like this is a case where, at least for this example, I can turn off the shadows over there and probably on flare shadows as well. Actually, I'd probably shut off the shadows on all of them and you wouldn't even notice. Oh no, flutter shadows I'm going to keep on. Pinkies I might be able to shut off. Yeah. No, I'm not redoing it. I'm just working on actually getting the map released for it. No, I'm not one to redo videos. Once I'm done with it, I'm done with it. I have plenty of other ideas I'd rather work on. Redoing is like trying to prove to yourself that you've improved, but I don't need to do that. Oh, the reason it feels like there's a lot of stuff missing is because I don't have the light rays over there. Okay. I think that works. I'll fix the hole there in post. The video was awesome. The map sucks though. It's difficult to work with. There's a lot of glowing here, so I'm gonna have to do export as movie. I'll do 720. Fuck it. I don't even have an awakened folder anymore. There's gonna be it's a good base standing pose that shows walking forward. What's the one I had? Is it this one? Let's go with that. Should be super quick. Well, like I said, some of the others, the map needs a lot of TLC in terms of lighting to make it work right. That's the way I built it, because I wanted to have that control of it. The pre-made map lighting would work a lot well with it, so that's why these halls look dark and void. And I know I'm going to get a lot of disappointed people thinking that they're going to get beautiful looking hallways. So, oh, that's the other thing too. I need to go back to the save file fair. That's a long shadow. Well, I guess it makes sense. Oh yeah, it didn't work that way, did it? Well, hyper CPU usage didn't bother me at all. As long as it gave me the product or the end result I wanted. Back of this X a lot more weird than I thought it did before. Oh, because I never actually showed the back of it. It's in the wall. This is how it actually looked. And then when I went to the other side, I went and just flipped it around so that this side was on this side. There used to be a sun and the moon in this. I can't remember where it went. Whatever. I'm gonna make sure this works. Yep. So the door lock should actually be locked to one of the doors. I believe it's supposed to be locked to the left one. Yeah. So when this one opens, yeah. Okay. So we have door open. Oh, no problem with questions. I like questions. The LLP props, like this door was a custom made for the map by Gun Griffin. And the flags were custom made by me. I did the textures and I made the model, which was a whole rectangle. Ooh. These flags were made by me. It's probably the most complex model I've ever made, which says something. Here. They have some texture errors that make these parts black, but I haven't cared enough to fix it. My eyes are almost clipping me. The pillars and the statuettes were made by whoever made the Candrelot War Games map. I did the door texture, but that's not even a model. It's a brush. The Candrelot War Games had the floor model too. I made the ceiling texture. I did all these ones too. I thought some of these were taken from the show, but they were all made from scratch actually, because I needed I had a reference image from the show to work from, but I had nothing big enough to actually make a full texture, so I had to make the rest from scratch. Yeah. So this is part of this template I wanted to save. And then also there's like the flower pot model. Which was made by Gun Griffin as well. I think that was the first one actually he made for me. He just sent it to me during a stream. I was like, what? And so these actually go up on the pillars. And then there was in the show they had some vines hanging down from it, and I just grabbed some other models of vines. But that's actually how they had it. It was a big black bar that came out and had a flower pot on top. And those went on every pillar. You gotta be an ass to whoever has to change all those flowers or water them. Here, there. Now they get to the ceiling. Flower pot saves the day. So we can just do it. Couldn't make this the secret garden. It is the garden. You shall come and pray to the flowers. It's actually quite pretty like that. This is kind of reminding me of Final Fantasy VII. Anybody know what I'm talking about? What this would reference? Yes. I'm pretty sure the lighting was actually similar as well. Somehow or another it had spotlighting coming through. Kind of pretty. Oh, holy flowers. Screw that. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna put that image, do that image now. It's gonna be a quickie. But I take some of the other images from different angles for the place and put it in there because I don't want to have a... I don't want to make the picture feel like I'm lying to people. I'll do color correction, but I won't, like... overdo it a little bit and stuff. With this part I gotta get rid of because this just bugs me. Where's my... There we go. I don't think this tool will work for that, no. Well, maybe. No, I'm just gonna rely on the other one. Rubber stamper all the way. I'm fixed. Okay. Yeah, church chairs. I had actually been used this as a potential throne room for something, and it actually kind of worked too, because it has a long hallway leading up to a central point. It was just the window selection that doesn't work well if you wanted to do something like that, but you can change out the windows. These textures can be replaced pretty easy. The actual texture itself for that is where are those again? I think they're in here. Yeah. They're all under one texture. So this is the windows. All of them use the same texture, which is the original one that the artist made. And the texture itself is just pulling out just these parts it needs, and that's it. Which is nice because then it's only one texture in your memory. So, but like when I needed the for the Full Metal Alchemist video I have the same window model break, and I just went and replaced Rainbow Dash here with that like window. I squeezed it in there. On this one it worked. I really don't think I need to do any coloration fixes or anything. I'm not really worried about anything. I wanted to purposely make it like not overly cleaned up and refined and cleaned and lit. I wanted to keep it fairly plain. So that works. What are some other angles I wanted to do here? Just show some of the windows there, so I'm good. So I probably want to do something like this. Okay, this door needs to be moved back a little bit more. I can see through the rim there. I'm not even worried about it. So I'm going to just take stupid, crappy ones here. Export image. Okay. We'll do this one. Would be some other focus points. Oh, I could do this too. That'll work. I don't want help. Go away, help. I hit I hit the Adobe Help button by accident. I'm like, no. These might still be too big for previews. Well, I could probably just stack it up here. No, I don't like that. Make them a little smaller. I actually started a different poster over the weekend. I just didn't like how it was going, so I ended up like putting it on pause. Assistant needing outer glow. My brain is not working today. Do I want something brighter or something? Make it a purplish work. Yeah, that does work. Maybe a little bit darker. Actually, you know what? I think that may be fine. I just need to make it smaller. Just do that. I don't even care. And they don't do small lowercase capitals on here, do they? No. What's a good font to use for this? Times New Romans, no. There we go. Brah. Need to make it readable. I don't want overly fancy, I just want something with a little bit of frill. I think this is also the elements. That's what I called it. Actually, the map itself was originally called Awaken, because that was the original like code name I gave it when I first started, until we actually found a name for it. But Hammer has this bad problem. The window models are included in the save file. I mentioned that earlier. Same with the door, the flowers, and the flags. They should all be in there. It should be in the file I gave you. But if you like, Hammer needs every object to be, I think it was convex, so that everything has to come around to one point. You can't have anything that's concave or have a where it creates like a central ball, like a I guess a hole is the only word I can come up for it. You have to make sure everything is convex, and if you have something that's concave, it'll let you do it, but as soon as you save it and exit, it will now be corrupted and no longer be able to open at all. So you can lose your entire save file pretty easily. So anytime I was playing with certain aspects of the map, I would save it as a separate file name, so that if it, and then I would do a and then I would just exit the program, open it, and if it opened, great. If it didn't, then I just grab the old one and try again. So because of that, the actual save files, there is a lot of them, So going up to version 184, which is what I was playing with just yesterday, trying to get some of this to work. So you can see here this was started in May of 2013, and you can see as the days go on, we use 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then there's a gap. I can't remember what the gap is from. I think MLP, MSP? No. Because I hadn't been to a convention yet at that point. But then it just starts having these bigger gaps as I got more and more frustrated with it until suddenly you see 7/6/2013, then 8/16/2014, so a year and a month later. And this is when I started working on it again for a few months. Then it was December of 2014, and then it was by 2015 here, July 30th, 2015 was when I actually started, when I finished the map, or the video was in 2015. So yeah, it's an adventure for that map. And so there's actually openable versions of the old map if you want to see it. I was just happy to get it done. I'm not sure how many of these are going to load. So let's go to the oldest, one of the oldest ones I have, number 11. So this is what the map looked like at this point. This is, like I said, I was trying to go with a more frilly roof. But originally I wasn't referencing, I was making my own hall, I wasn't referencing one from the show. And so I was just going in my own direction. And I ended up changing it quite a bit because I didn't like the way that this was looking. These were much different windows, rounder windows. Yeah, so that one I just like, nope. Let's jump ahead a couple iterations. Okay, yeah, this is my filler door until I had the texture done. And air there. This is when I started adding the arches and actually put in what looked like the final ceiling. This is very busted. I actually have some basic lighting now. But it's progressing. Shove another 30 forward. Okay, now this is me testing out using the maps lighting at first, but I ended up not using it because there was some issues. This had some issues. This is actually part of the map right now because I was testing to see how it would look, and I was having a lot of issues. There was issues everywhere. I was actually playing with the windows a bit more. Still had no door. It takes a good... Oh, some of these actually don't work. It takes a good, like, 5 minutes to render the map, and I think at this point it took even more than that, and it was... it locks your computer completely down because it uses every resource possible. So I only rendered out the maps when I needed to. That's why I didn't always have one saved. So this is after I copy pasted the hall. And this is actually when I had glass on both sides all the way through. The reason I ended up removing it on this side was because I didn't know what to put out there, and then you would also be visible to see the hallway coming out over here, and it didn't look right. Any way I did it, I'd have to actually build an exterior for it, but I was running out of num portals, which is a term for hammer. So I had to start reducing it in some places, and that was where I reduced it by locking off this hallway, so you couldn't actually see through both sides again, or in that way. It actually would be interesting to make a version of this that just has the same hallway, 4 different directions, and just has the same grassy outside area. This one's just a big open one. But, well, this is before I put the textures in here, too. Yeah, I always want to make sure it has... I'm going to say a cartoonish look, but at least a balance of real and cartoon. Sometimes, like, a lot of the Fallout stuff requires a lot more realistic stuff, but it requires then adding a lot more realism to the ponies. That isn't always that easy. What do I got here? Added the statues to the end of the halls. Still don't have the hedges out there. Some of these flags were added. You just start seeing it come together. I want to get to the one where I just start doing the other room. Pretty sure it's going to be right around this one. Nope. I don't even know what the difference is with this one. Oh, at that point is when I started hitting resource issues. So I started needing to go back and refine the map to clean up issues to make things actually work well. So yeah, you can see here, I had to close off these walls. And this is when I started. I was trying to work with an area portal and it didn't work. This is what I was just practicing with lighting. I just put the pillars in without the ceilings. I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. Okay, this is where I got the door fixed. I think this is oh, it is the final size. And this is what I just started playing around with this, and I just could not figure out like what I wanted to do with any of this, and it was just frustrating the hell out of me. And nothing I was doing was to my liking. Oops. Which one did I open? The same one. Let's open up one more. We'll do 180. This is probably about what the final was. Yeah. Very close to. I can't even remember what I would have changed on a lot of this. If you want to see what a lot of this looks like within the editing software, for those that have never played with Hammer, copyright 1996 to 2005. Yeah. Old software. Come on. That's when this goes away. There it goes. The interface running in Hammer is interesting because if you want to float in 3D space, you have to toggle it with Z. So whenever you go to move inside the screen to allow your mouse to move like that, you have to keep hitting Z. And I got into such a habit with running into Hammer that I was doing it in SFM. So this is what it looks like in the map editor. So you don't know what the lighting's going to look like or any of that until until you actually bring it in game. So to save on memory, these don't show up until you get close, these models. This is what a skybox looks like. So the skybox literally starts right here, even though it looks like it's going off into the distance. It's an illusion. So, yeah. Like, and these aren't individual rains. It's actually a texture. Yeah, these windows, they literally shut off for the skybox right here. So, and they were never meant to be like showing a big outside bit. I just wanted it showing the sky. Didn't care. So what's gonna show something on here? Oh, and so then yeah, if you want to actually see what geometry looks like and stuff, that's this. So you can actually see some of the models here. So this is looking from the side. So there's two different doors overlapping here and the alicorns at both sides. Then there's the actual front with the hallway she walked. And then this is the main room. Same thing here. This is, I think, from the front. Yeah, straight down the hall and then for the top. Oops. Can't remember all the keys. I'm just in random. And then there's the 3D skybox out here. So this is the interface I worked on for hours after hours after hours. Loading stuff in. And then you have the required little bits over here. You need a player start position, your environment lighting, tone map control, your logic. The wind probably actually wasn't even needed. I was testing Luna's main, so that was kind of left there as a afterthought. So yeah, this is what your game engine editor looks like on your no draw textures. Whenever you see a parts of the map that are where it's got textures on, or it's essentially anything that is not visible or not to be seen should have a no draw texture, which basically just means ignore it. Nothing's loaded. It's just a more efficient way of doing your map. And when I originally did it, memory issue was a huge thing because I didn't have any no draws, and I had to go through and manually turn them to no draws. So I had, so I could save on memory. So like the back of these pillar things, it's okay to have it keep going over because it's the same texture, but in the back here, I don't want this actual texture loading, so no draws. So yeah. Yeah, Hammers is the map creator for most stuff, SFM and Valve in general, but it comes with SFM. If you download SFM, where do you go, mouse? Oh, there you go. And you go to your game folder and then bin, it comes with Hammer. It comes with Hammer, Face Poser, Half-Life Model Viewer, and then Studio MDL, which is your compiler for models. It comes with a lot of stuff. It's pretty lightweight, but it's old, and that's the thing that sucks, because like I said, this last copyright on this was 2005, so you're looking at software that's 13 years old, and with how fast technology changes, this is ancient. But it looks kind of complicated, but for map editors, it's actually not that bad. It just has a lot of glitches and issues that make it frustrating. But there is a nice thing of like, say, like this texture. I'm going to replace this texture. I want a different one, but I want to replace every time I use this texture. So you could actually go replace, and say I'm going to replace it with this texture. Replace. 102 replaced. Oh wait, no, hold on. I want to do it like this. There we go. There. Now every instance of that texture was placed all the way across the map. So there's nifty little tools. It turns super fast. So nifty. And if I want to move this, I have to grab this. I can't. Oh, I can move it here, but it's not a good idea to move it there. You want to move it in like this to make sure that you're positioning it within the Z space correctly. Anyways, enough about Hammer. It's a stupid program. Well, the associated software like Hammer and stuff, that's nothing to do with SFM. That's the engine. So a lot of that comes down to updating the engine itself to like 2.0. A lot of that has been updated since, but it's normally when it comes to like you got a new engine, it's usually because you have a new game. You can't keep bringing the same software and upgrading its engine over and over and over again. You get a hybrid monster. So SFM, if it were to be brought to the new source engine, I don't think they'd be able to update it as it is to there. It would probably just be a whole new software, which they kind of did for Dota for SFM 2.0. But there's a lot of things that it doesn't have yet, or at least I haven't checked, that I consider to be a necessity to want to use it. I think this header text will work. Ooh. That's better. Okay, and now I want to do small caps with some of this. Not 36, we'll do 40. Yeah. What should I do for effects on that? So kind of like that. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Actually, wait, no. I did want black for that. Wait, no. I think I know what I want. I want to make this color black, inner glow white. Yeah, I haven't went to 10. I know SFM originally had issues working with Windows 10 when it first came out, but I'm pretty sure a lot of that was fixed. You know, I'm not even gonna put like text information on here because that implies that people don't actually have to go look at the file or the text in the body of something. I'm gonna put my name. I wonder if I should do that. Actually, I might keep that normal capitals. Yeah, I'm gonna put that like 50. I don't want that to be the main focus at all. It's just gonna be on there. What picture size will fit for the stained glass windows? Open the texture. I had that open before. It's under models, MLP glass. So just export this and then fit it to that. That's it. If you, whatever one you fit that to in that texture, just load that model. So if you fit it to Fluttershy's window, then open Fluttershy's model and it would be replaced with Fluttershy's instead of Fluttershy's place. So yeah, that's all it takes. And I'm not even gonna bother testing this in Gmod because I don't even care enough. I've just been trying to get it out in general. Keep litter. Kitty's dropping poop rocks. Kind of wish I could have her over there. Might just say fuck it and do that. Yeah, speaking of music from this. Because I'm gonna definitely have to put some stuff on here about what is not included in this. This might actually be bigger. Why can't I? There it goes. Here. Well, I'm already going to just tell people to just do whatever you can to fix this, because there's a lot of issues that need fixing for sure. And I mean, you can even see here just like flowing. I don't even care. I just want to get it out there so then people stop asking the questions and can fix it themselves. Though I have a feeling I'm going to get more questions from having it out. But so the only other issue I need to try to figure out with is why some of the models aren't loading for people, because that seems. If it was one person, that's one thing, but it was more than one that was saying that was an issue. Unless I packed this one different than I packed some of the other ones. Because the way I've been doing it is I found a program called Vibe, I believe. Vide. And that works pretty nifty. Let's you just pick a file and be like, oh no, that's the wrong way. So in this case, if I were to load 181, it actually came up with a lot more than I thought it was going to. But it's going to show you all the files that are included with it. But for 182 originally when I did it, it was missing a lot. This one is so it shows everything's included into the save file agreements on there. And so in terms of like models, so here's the flag, but it showed it was missing. So there's something messing up with that. Whenever I make videos, what settings do you mostly use? In general, if you're talking these settings, I will generally put it on a final render between 64 and 256. Going below 64, you'll start noticing like variations in quality. At 64 and higher, you'll notice it, but it's harder to tell. It really comes down to which I choose in there. It depends on the amount of time I'm allotted to render. If I'm just doing preview renders, I usually do 32, just there because they're quick, but give you at least close. But final renders, if there's a lot going on in the scene, I'll put it at 64 because otherwise the render will take forever. But if there's not much going on, I'll usually bump it up to like 256. But if the render is going to probably take 8 hours, or if I have 8 hours allotted, that I'm going to be like, or not even 8, but like say I'm going to sleep and the next morning I'm going to work, so that's like a good like 16 to 20 hours before I touch my PC. If I have that much time, I'll just bump this up to whatever is going to take the most amount of that time. So it might take 18 hours to do a render then, but I have the 18 hours, so I might as well utilize it. But I one time used that one at 128, and it was so busy that it was going to take like 60 hours. I was like, hell no. So I ended up dropping it, I think, to 64. And I think part of it to 32 to try to reduce that because it was ridiculous. I used to also play with the what are they called? The camera settings for SSAO, but I don't even remember my old settings. I haven't touched those for a long time. I don't know, did I answer your question, or did I over answer it? I do that a lot too. So we have an hour left. The one thing I did start doing, and I guess we can kind of hustle it a little bit, was I was trying to think through planning for the full video for the Ministry of Rares ones, like beginning to end, what parts I need. And the one I came across needing was a reverse shot. And I want to start doing it, but I'm going to see how it goes, whether or not I keep with it. I just have a default picture for this for now. And I found a map that should at least work for now, but I might change it depending on what's going or how things are looking. Unless I never actually checked if there's a better hallway that in here. This map has so many fucking rooms. It's just one big house. Yeah. Actually, this could be a useful room. Anyways, I just needed a longer hallway, and this kind of worked. Though it's a little bit bigger than I wanted. I kind of wanted a little bit more tight. So what I originally wanted to do was, in this part of the song, it would end up being 42 minutes, or 43 seconds of the entire song, which is like about a fourth of the song. I don't math well, so whatever. It's called Manor, I think. Yeah, Manor Rooms. I used it for my, which room did I use? I used it for a video. I used this room or this room. No, I think it's this room. From when I did the video for Winnie City last year, I used this room for setting up, for doing that video, and I think I used this room originally for, I don't know if that's what we used in the final. What did I call it? Isn't that what the final was? For the Layer of Dragon video. Am I going crazy? Why am I not seeing it? I don't think I named it the actual final video name. No, I would have done it in 4K, so... Okay, it was just called Crackle, that's why. It's not its name. I can't remember if... Nope. Audio off, thank you. Is this the room we used? Yeah, it was. So you can see the wood. I just went and filled the hallway with other stuff. Doesn't make any sense to go into a wood room with all the tech back there, but whatever. So it's right here. I downloaded it a while ago, and it's been nifty for stuff. Ooh, this actually is this tighter than this one. No. Even if it was tighter, I don't think it would work as well because I don't have anywhere to go. No, so what I wanted to do, and I'm not sure if I can technically do it, or I'm not sure how much work it would be to do, but I want to build this scene twice-ish. I want to have it be where I want to have one scene end on this picture and have it right where the music cuts in, have it back up from the picture and have it freeze where that image was, which takes a little bit of playing around to get that to work, but I'll make it work. And have it continue going backwards, but I want to have it be where it's the hallway of the current day, but I want to have it also in the future where it's destroyed, and I want to have it going back and forth. So having it be clean, but then having like a battle raging in it. And if that doesn't work, I will I'll just use I wanted to have it look like it was. The video had been going through the past the whole time, but then suddenly have it show the future in just freeze frame, but then have it go back to the picture and go back to the past again. because like Samurai Jack or some shit. So I originally had some camera bit, but it was at the part of this part of the song. So I thought just backing away at this point. So way too fast. But I just think this hallway's too big. I could actually... I didn't even think of that then. Between the main beats, so like... I'll mark words, I'm thinking. Between those 2 points... Because it's a hard beat that goes back to soft a little bit again. You could have it going backwards like slowly and then have it speed backwards and then slow down again. I'll kind of give an example of what I mean. The more I figure out ahead of time, the easier it's going to be in the end. Whoops. So where's the maximum turn down point? Right here. This is a very rough version of what I'm going to try to do, but that. So something like that, but I'd probably, oh, yeah, they're going way too fast, so I can slow that down. And this would be more of a straight back, but then like at this point, how do I go like that? Even that would probably be even more. But then I think right when it hits the main beat right here, so right at that point, I wanted to have it turn to having it. So I wanted to have a freeze frame of a fight, and I've always been I like doing freeze frames, like going through in frozen time, because you can put so much detail. It's like making a picture and a video at the same time, and so I wanted to have it where, like right at the end here, like there'd be a guy getting knocked out of a door or something, and like, and to show like everything is fucked up. But then, and I think it goes. But I feel like even with that, it would be to drag on unless I change things up a little bit. So that's why I potentially want, at least at the beginning, make it look like potentially the current time, but then have it flicker and eventually just stick with the current instead of being in the past. I think right here's when it ends. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Oh, I stretched it because of whatever. But then when it... Oh no, this is where I was going to have... I wanted to have it come back to the picture. So after everything, I wanted to have the camera starting at this point, wherever it is. And I potentially wanted to get it to at least out here to some degree, like by the staircase. At this point, I wanted to have it actually fly back in and like into the picture. And I had some other ideas for what to do then. But I have to think about that a little more. But this was an idea that I wanted to do anyway. So I'm just kind of going with it. Okay. So, but for now, I don't... all I really need to do is build the scene. This hallway just seems really wide to me. But it's also... Or, the other issue is that right now it is lit. But I could probably bring in a hammer and remove the lighting from it. So that it's not... There's no lights at all in it. And then it's pitch black. And then I can light it myself. So that... As long as it lets me decompile it, wouldn't be that bad. But even if it doesn't, I can actually go and kind of build this again. It's just that building it by hand is resource intensive. All this pre-built stuff. These aren't actually models, these walls. They're just a single texture put across or a brush put across it. Their hammer might be crap, but at least the maps are more efficient than low-building models by far. So it just comes down to building the scene then, to what I need. So if I was going to... I could say that like people were barricading themselves into some of these rooms. So the first guy that comes across could be like shot out of the door. Let's find a table. The table is very much like the one that's here. The freeze frame shots are fun. Their difficulty comes in. You can put a lot more detail into it, but then you have to put a lot of detail into it. Like, see, these three pieces make up a table. So... Yeah, they do. Okay. I need you to check something with that. So, like... I'm gonna load in. So I want B2, B1, B2, or A2, and then B1, B2. to make something destroyed, you first have to build it right. So, got to make sure I put everything together, and then kind of figure out what it would look like if everything went kaboomy. Alright, so now I have a table. And I'm going to say that people would probably be barricading themselves with these. So let's put this here. No audio, please. That table is not big enough, but that's probably a size of a pony. See, this is why I might have an issue with it, is that I just feel like this hallway is too big. And I can definitely say fuck it and make people bigger, but I don't know if that's gonna cause other problems. Why did my mouse get stuck? Oh, there. Well, I guess this is freeze time, so it doesn't even matter. I can definitely make them bigger. As long as ahead of time, I bake them. I must bake the Zippo. So I think this would be about what I was looking for. He's so confused. There. He's a good pawn. He has one giant iris. He was one I probably was going to have doing initial attempt to getting through the door here. Is his size going to cause problems for the stairs here? No, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'll see he's big enough. So these will also need to be bigger. I'm gonna say this one's gonna lock these two. Might be too big. That's probably big enough. No, it's a barricade. He's gonna be. So this guy's probably gonna be like, bam. We're like, So because I want to have the camera come potentially through the guy's, like, he'd probably be a little further backwards here. Like if I were to get more detailed with the posing than just have him probably like he had just gotten knocked off of his footing, so probably something like this. What's going on with your face? Is that part of your mane? Well, now we know how he died. He got a spear through the face. Okay. We'll figure out what that is. What part is back of his tongue? Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if it's a certain... There's a couple bones that have really weird misplacements. Yeah, it's in the tongue. Some bone on the tongue is locked to a not correct spot. Not really worried about it because I'm not probably going to be able to see him anyway, or from that angle. Back on. Actually, I'm thinking this arm would still be down. Let's keep it like that for now. But like, so yeah, something about him. Actually, you know what? This is what I need to do. I actually did the neck yet. I'd probably put him up in the air a bit, actually. If I did, I'd have to have him turn back more. And his leg further down. Yeah, I have no idea on Cinema 4D stuff, so if you can make it work better in there, all the power to you. I don't think these raiders actually have main control. They do not. That sucks. I might replace it because having the hair move a certain direction helps a lot. The tail works, but only to a degree. But then I can have, if I actually bent the head around a little bit more for this, but like, see, now I could have the camera actually come through, like, and have that do that like quick bit, have it kind of back up through it, and have then somebody, a normal pony, probably a mare because it just makes it feel more like she's threatened for some reason. They need no names. There we go. How would you want to be named Sassaflash? This work, unicorn, and has dolphins. Big pawn. It's like, who are you? Where you come? Get out of my house. Kiss me. You can boop with your fist. It's Bonzilla. Big scary pod. Rar. Rar. Ooh. What you looking at? Fluid. Oh yeah, I guess the root would go with it. Ooh, pelvis. Might actually have her not look that way. Because I don't want her being angry, I want her to be afraid. And, as of right now, she just, like, would... By looking at any way, even if it was scared, it wouldn't make sense. So I'm instead going to have her... I might have to pull an enhanced pony to get the squint better. Yeah, because it looks more like she just pulled the trigger and was like, "Ooh, that made a noise." Oh no. I wonder if I can have her push on the other one. I'm not sure what I want to have her other leg do, so I'm just trying a few things. I don't know if I quite like that either. I kind of like the idea of just trying to protect, like, hide her face a little bit. I can be able to see low enough to see her shoulders, so I'm not really caring what the angle looks like on any of it. Let's leave it like that for now. I'll play with it later. Don't want anything fancy looking. Just looking for something a little bit more rusty looking, though. So that's this too fancy. That's too much. I need something with a kick. Yeah, the Hyperion. I might just go with like a TF2 one. It's pretty simple. And it has a big barrel. Coffee Minor. Okay, that might be a little bit too big. Like that. You're not meant to bend like that, but I might just leave it and say fuck it. I don't even know if I'm going to see the chick in the window No. I could put people back there for sure. And I was going to have a fairly strong depth of field, so like when I'm going from this, I'm going to keep it in focus for the most part, but like once I get to here, I'm definitely going to have it be like probably even higher than that. But I want to have it so that the depth of field stays not stationary, but fairly stationary, so that as the camera is moving, the focus seems to be almost locked in time as well. So that as this is going like through him, that it could start very blurred, but then within a short period of time, he gets into focus and goes back out of focus, and other things that are in the air take the focus instead. So I wanted to have a lot of debris and stuff flying. It's usually that unrealistic amount of crap flying in the air because it just has the effect. There's no way you could ever have that much shit flying around, but it works. Like here, having like some guys call their shotgun one, and then we're gonna load up a the best one. I thought I had a higher that doesn't look right. That looks like shit, never mind. I guess it doesn't have to be that detailed, but let's just say that's animated. We'll do all those basic ones. Where'd it go? I think this will work. So every detail that's in there, because of the high depth of field, is going to just add to its 3D effect. So having shotgun shells in the air, the fact that he probably would have had, I'm guessing, like a blade, because that's what his cutie mark was. So let's look for a knife. Do that one. So it's telling a story. Probably have it be, because that's smaller. I'll put it there. And if I really wanted to go into it, I think, I don't know if I had downloaded or not. I don't think I did. If I haven't, I should. There is a model for Pony Gibbs. What ones do I have in the group? This one I do. No, it's not for a picture. It's for it will be animated. Well, it'll be a freeze, time freeze, animated. Hey, SFM Pony says over 1 million page views. When did that happen? Probably a while ago. Because I know there's one, I think it has Picky and like a bunch of pieces. And I don't think it was that long ago, but my mind could be deceiving me too. It could be some from God for fucking ever ago. But then I could actually have like somebody like there. I could actually have his arm being blown off or something. I probably passed it too. Is it a bit old? Maybe. It depends on the definition of old too. Some stuff I'm like, oh, that's old, and then it was like not that long ago. It felt like old. Come on, I need Pinky in pieces. Problem is, the longer you look, you start getting like tunnel vision, where you're not even really paying attention to what you're actually doing anymore, and then you'll just pass it right up. I'm looking for Pinky in pieces. I know there was a Gibbed model where it was a bunch of Pony Gibbs. I swear it is pretty old. I thought I would have found it by now. I'm like stupid and where I can like find through search, but I'm just being stickler and I'm like, nope, I've already invested time searching, so now I gotta keep doing it. I remember the picture too. She was like all happy that she was in pieces. I remember doing that. This bothers me is like, why didn't I download them at that time? I thought they were stupid. What's the use? You found it? There, that's the picture I remember. Oh, those are clean cut though. Still. You can mess with things. Okay, so it's just the Gibbs. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I bet you they're not bump map though. It's gonna bug me for no reason at all. Oh, please don't tell me that's doing that. Yeah, but it does that, damn it. Okay, that might not work. This is not set up very well because it has there. I forgot what they call that. Livestream calling. If you zoomed in, I think it works better. No, it works worse. It works just bad in general. Well, see, the problem is like if I use this and I start backing through the shot like this, boom. It's it's called Frostrum culling, and it's everything does it. You just don't normally notice it because the engine's essentially looking at it, the model, and it's saying, "Are you on the screen? If no, remove you from it removes it from processing. When it moves back into view, it'll pop it back up again. It makes it so that if I'm like looking like this, that frame over there isn't technically being processed; it's being called, and so which means just make its textures visible. That's the same reason that like if you look from inside this pony, I'm not seeing the inside of his textures. I'm seeing right through him, even though he has textures on the side, because there's culling going on with that. So only you could turn that off, so you can actually have the same texture on both sides, but then you have twice as many textures being processed. So this is saying that when I'm off screen, do that, and it usually bases it off of the hitboxes, and so it just depends on where the hitboxes are. So in this, you can kind of usually tell where that ends up going. You'll have these errors like so. This, it's probably somewhere up here. See, I can go up there, and I can get pretty much over there. Yeah, but it's somewhere above this. So it just means that when the model was done, it wasn't optimized in such a way to have everything correct for that. So the engine doesn't really know where the model is because it doesn't use the actual geometry. That would be not cost efficient, because a hitbox only has a total of up to 20 convex objects. Convex being like a circle would be something with zero convex or zero concave objects. So it's always like round. It can be longer, it can be whatever, but it has to still be where all angles come around to each other. And you can have multiples of those overlapping and clipping and whatever, as long as it covers everything that's in the model. I know this because of what's the name of it? I think they're called binders. Actually, I can just do. There we go. So I had ported these models a long time ago. They're from an old game I used to play, and I had to build the hitboxes from scratch myself, and so I was trying to find the most efficient way to do it with only 20 objects. So like I would make a hitbox that would connect this entire like engine right here. It would go all the way through from top to bottom, and then I would do another one here, and that'd be 2. Then I would do one across the main base up through like here to the back here, and that would be 3. And then I would do another one for this section right here that pops out a little bit. That'd be 4. Then the wing would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So you're having to like figure out the most efficient way to do it, and you're having things cross over. But if I didn't have any hitboxes for this, so it knows when I'm up here while I'm still at a hitbox on the screen. It only has to remember 20 objects. Well, if it was trying to remember every polygon, that is a lot of stuff for it to try to pay attention to what's on the screen at a time. So because I was actually pretty smart with how I made this stuff, none of that disappears when you go across. It also makes it so in Gmod, when you fire at it, it actually has the bullets pop up on there correctly and stuff. So, using multi-scale on a pony model, so just the body part remains. Yeah, you could. You wouldn't get the like bloody end piece, but yeah, you could do scaling and stuff. It would end up being like a shrunk knotted end piece, so you might have to, if you played with how the camera was positioned and potentially with like particle effects and other things, you might be able to make it work. Like take a bloodied end of something and just jam it in the end that is shrunk down of like a zombie hand and just texture a little bit, and you might be able to make that work. I'm still not liking that knife. So I'm not really liking that. I get, but okay. But anyways, so it is past 9, so I'm gonna be done for today. I will try to work and see if I can figure out what's going on with those models for the remembrance thing, so I can get those out at some point. But at least I got the picture done. So, okay. But yeah, I will be back on next Tuesday and go from there. So have a good one. Pudge says good night, and so does Kitty. Where's Kitty? Kitty. Yeah. All right. Have a good weekend, guys.